Welcome everybody back to another Bold Cast reaction. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Carson.
And today we are watching Spy Family, episode 12. This is the finale of part 1 of this season. Been loving it so far. Really excited to see this last episode, hopefully with a dog, hopefully with some penguins. Seems like it's going to be a good time.
Future seeing dog, seemingly. We'll see how that goes. And if Anya can read the dog's thoughts and then see the future. Be a really interesting dynamic.
It would put her in an even harder situation because she wouldn't be able to reveal how she knew what was coming without exposing herself and exposing the dog, but no one would believe that the dog could do that, so she would just be exposing herself as being able to see the future, not be able to read minds. Anyway, let's get into it. Please like, please subscribe. Let's go.
What? What is this mission?
It just said at the beginning he got another mission alongside his other
what is it for? Like,
I don't know.
It's just completely unrelated.
I guess because his mission is so long and he can easily do something else. Because
it's not easy if the mission if you can jeopardize like your position. This is a recap episode.
Yep.
This is a recap episode.
I guess so.
Am I wrong? Is that why nobody was asking about this episode?
If it is, I don't know why they bothered when they could have just ended it on 11.
Wait, she's still killing people?
I guess so. I wish that they like showed a little bit more of her.
But maybe she's just saying that so that we can get that little reaction from Anya.
Yeah.
And for it to be funny in a recap episode.
They actually had to lay everyone off after that expensive castle day. Gossiping about them in the hallway. Drawing attention to yourself. Penguin Park. Oh yeah, it was in a zoo aquarium. Yours like, oh, at this point I just figured we were just like, I kind of forgot this was for pretend. We've been living together for months. So tired. Why are they always just lurking around in the hall outside their door? Oh no. Oh, the other one's at the aquarium.
No, she's just like... Oh, wait, no, you're right.
Yeah.
I thought she was just pissed off that he's taking the day off. Maybe it's both?
Be careful what you're saying loudly in the middle of the crowded train station. Everyone loves Marines. Aww. Did they show up there so they could spy on them at the place?
Oh shit.
No, he can't sneak off and do the mission.
She's right. It is a good plan. If he didn't just take this other mission.
There are so many. You mean the world's smallest penguin park with the most penguins shoved inside of it?
I mean, at least it's not like West Edmonton Mall.
Exactly. I mean, it's almost the equivalent with the ratio of penguins to land.
You can't see the other side of it.
Oh, he loves penguins so much. Oh, shoot. Sick. It's gonna come out as like in disguise as like one of the trainer people. Where's the new guy? At least he didn't disguise himself as the penguin. Oh my god. Two years. He knows him.
Matilda.
They all start with a P.
Especially as he's that exhausted.
Yeah. It's actually very impressive. They want the fish.
Holy shit! When did you?
Oh, he sent them all like. He's a professional. The next day, the actual.
They're gonna be so disappointed with the next guy.
They're like, well, if you're such an expert, I guess I you know, all right then.
Sure, I mean, you probably know best.
Oh, see those whales in there? Take it. Poor little guy. Someone's gonna come up behind him.
Who are you?
Sure you are.
Hurry Taylor. Instead of Harry Taylor?
Smell it. It's gonna be like. Man, this guy just pulls out a gun. Just
Get Parles out of here.
Yeah. Just take the thing out of his throat. Oh no. The neighbors are gonna be like, this family's a disaster.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what are you doing? Tells her mom I'm being kidnapped.
The wind up. Boom.
Oh my god. Wow.
She said my daughter as well.
You didn't overdo it. Oh my god, that was actually awesome.
Great. Okay.
It's so nice. Oh.
Okay.
So cute. Oh, look at that guy too. So heavy. Didn't tell.
From this machine.
I want one.
A giant penguin? Bathroom.
Train.
She studies.
I mean, it's part of her mission. I hope it doesn't get wrecked from getting dragged on the floor like that. No! She's just a little kid. I wonder if she ever been played with before like that.
Nice. End. Wow. See you next year.
It's coming in the fall.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ding 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 ding. Wasn't expecting this episode. Little recap at the start. I thought it was gonna last longer. I'm glad it didn't.
And we didn't get the dog.
And we didn't get the dog. They just wanted to end it off on a nice little episodic, fun time, and it worked. I liked it a lot.
I liked it as well. I wish that there wasn't as much of a recap at the beginning because it was just kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
But I did like all the penguin stuff. I liked seeing Loid go on different missions as well, and that they've implied that he's been doing that the whole time.
I don't really like that. It seems more like an episodic thing to me. Like they're just, because it's a recap type thing of just an enclosed story. They're like, okay, we got this snapshot in time where it's the three of them living together. They got this dynamic. Things are the way they are. Let's set a story where they like do something together that's fun. And it's like, there's like a side story too where he's doing the mission or whatever. That's what it seems like to me as far as a writing thing, because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't make sense for him, while he's doing this insanely important mission, to be also having other spy-like activity in the area and causing a fuss.
I guess it's kind of...
Especially when Yuri is like keeping a close eye on everything.
I guess it is complicated though, because he still has to go to work. Like, he can't be at the house.
But his work is at the house, so he could make up whatever he's doing during the day. Yeah. And he's usually been keeping an eye on Anya, is what he's been doing. It just doesn't make sense.
She's at school all day, Yor's at work, and then you know.
I know, but it doesn't make sense. Like, why? Okay, his job is the mission. His job is not, he'd do all these other missions.
Yeah.
Because this is his sole purpose, and it's like super important. So it doesn't make sense for him to be out there doing all these other missions and causing like other things to happen in the area, or being involved in other things and like stopping other things from happening, or getting information. Because then that's something that Yuri would probably pick up on if there's been more activity in that area. If he's trying to remain inconspicuous so that he can get in with this guy. I'm not complaining about about like the like that. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's the same thing of like anime movies are the same thing. It's like a kind of a side story that like could reasonably happen given like most of the logic in the show, but the whole point is so that we can spend a nice episode, a nice little side story. You could call it a filler if you want, but that it's just sort of we're at this point in the story, and things are going to evolve as it goes along. Like, say at the end of the whole season, there's something's probably going to change in the dynamic, maybe. Something's going to be added. So let's just take this moment and just like stretch it out for a little bit more, and so that we can experience more of this snapshot in time, having fun like this. And there's a few little things like that, like Loid going on all these other missions that don't really, I mean, I'm saying that, but like, was he going on missions before, like other missions?
We didn't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that this is his mission, and it's pointless. Like, and he's willing to risk exposing himself to get these plans for chemical weapons from another country, but he's not willing to let the neighbors be suspicious of him. When Yuri is like keeping a close, probably, I mean, not super close, but a pretty close eye on him, like really good at his job looking around at shit, and is really suspicious of him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the point of it is not to say something greater about the whole story. The point of it is to have fun and have a fun episode. I just am pointing that out because I thought that was interesting, I guess.
My favorite part of this episode was when Anya was getting kidnapped. She like tries to help him out, so she's getting kidnapped. Her mom beats the shit out of that guy. That was so good. That was really funny.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I guess I don't have too much to say about this episode because it was just very, very cute and fun. What did you think of the series as a whole so far?
Pretty good. I'd say it started off better than it went along, but maybe that's just, it's hard to say because we really like binging stuff. I feel like we enjoy things a lot more when we binge it, and the week-to-week format, it gives us a lot more time to think, and if you're a critical person like I am, then giving more time to think isn't always a good thing if you're going for enjoyment. But as far as quality goes, the quality is pretty consistent throughout, but I did find myself enjoying like the first 3 to 4 episodes, whatever it was, that we watched initially. And not that it got worse, it's just that there was like a height of enjoyment at the very beginning, and then as it went along, it was good throughout, but it just I guess it didn't change all that much throughout.
Yeah, I do also think something with this show, because like with the first few episodes of each, I put this above Kaguya in terms of my like enjoy, like not necessarily like the quality of the story itself, but just the enjoyment. And then over time, Kaguya like really overtook it by like a landslide. And I think this show as well, like the first few episodes were so jam-packed. It was really setting up for like the spy, the assassin, and the telepathic child like getting together, and then it became just very like cute.
Yeah.
Day to day, which is like I don't necessarily fault it for that, but it's not as exciting. So I think that's also it. Like it took a little bit of a slowdown. Not the quality didn't drop. It didn't like become shitty in any way.
But it had this very strong setup of this dynamic, and then we get almost none of your doing anything basically, and then Loid is not doing a whole lot if you really break it down. Like as far as the main thing, a lot of it was Anya trying to maneuver through school and Loid worrying about that. As far as the main plot, there was this stuff with Yuri, and that was a big deal, but it felt like it kind of came and went really fast. Again, there's like not, and it's the first half of this season. We might get more as we go along, I don't know, but you know, if they wanted to make a show that was just here's cute stuff and here's cute moments with this family that's really cute, hot dad, hot mom, really cute kid, they all have something, you know, quirky about them, they're all living together, you can do that, and you know, it's great, it's awesome, but the setup, I guess I was expecting a little bit more intrigue, a little bit more stress.
I think the first few episodes when like Loid is like running around with Yura and they're being like shot at and stuff, and then they're like being such badasses and like defeating them together, and then he puts like the grenade ring on her finger and stuff. It was just so intense, but also very funny and lighthearted at this. It like had that perfect mix of like high stakes, but it's still such a good time, and you're not actually that worried. And then I feel like as time went on, it kind of like lost a bit of the circumstances that we were in and the part of the story, because it's just Anya by herself at school. It doesn't have as much opportunity, so then we have episodes like the dodgeball episode, which is like funny and stuff, but it's not the same level as like
just think of like the interview when they were getting interviewed for the school, or when like all not just them like walking around and like constantly having an answer for everything, but like the emotional thing of Anya crying about her real mom or whatever. There was stuff like that, and we haven't touched on that at all since then, except to say, this is, we're your family now, we love you, etc., etc. We don't, and I don't expect backstory for obviously I don't expect backstory for all the characters and the reason why Anya has powers or whatever immediately. It was probably, I guess it was just a setup, but it's just there's a lot of interesting things to explore the dynamic, and it felt like halfway through the season we got a block of just them hanging out. And it's fine. Again, if it's fine if you just want cozy entertainment, and I do actually. Like I don't hate it because it did that. But I do wish we got a little bit more.
Exactly. I don't hate it. I like it, but I do feel like, I wish that there was a little bit more of like what they had at the beginning. Yeah. And I'm really hoping for like part 2 of this season, if they can like reincorporate that. I don't know, maybe this dog coming in is going to like shake things up. Maybe we'll eventually, like, Anya will get enough Stellas that we can actually interact with the target. Like, because I love these episodes where it's just like hanging out and chill, but I really would rather more of a mix. Like one episode of like intense and crazy and stuff, and then the next one is just for fun, and then the next one it picks up like this one was very heavily weighted. First half really very one thing, second half very relaxed, very hanging out. Yeah, and we also have to remember it's based on like a long-running manga and not a anime original script. Because if it was an anime original script, we'd be halfway through the series right now. Probably. Yeah. So it's weird because I'm like criticizing it, but not at the same time, because it's not the worst thing that it could do. I'm not mad. I would be fine if this show came out for years and years of just like a great storyline, but also just some fun episodes to just put on a weekend morning, relax, watch, have a good time. Which I did. Whenever we're watching it, it's always just fun. Yeah. But I can't help but want more. You know, I can't help but like when it's over, like, I just wish this. Whenever we start watching, I'm like, okay, what are we gonna learn this week? And we usually don't learn anything. Yeah. And that's honestly kind of disappointing. But it's not, because I don't really care that much. But I wish. But here's the thing. Maybe that's it. It's that like I don't care. But I wish I cared more. I wish that there was more for me to care about what's going on. Yeah, I think that... But because it is just fun and it's good. Because it's not asking me to, like, stress over it or anything. But I wish that there was something to, like, get invested in. I think it's kind of in a weird spot. Because normally, if I'm not invested in a show, it's because it's doing something wrong. It's being... if there's parts of Boruto where I'm like, I literally don't care. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not for the same. It's not for the same reasons of it's just being a cozy, fun little show. Yeah. It's doing dumb shit, and I don't like it. So not this show. Other shows. So for this one, it's kind of in a weird thing where I do want that little bit more, but I don't fault it, and I don't think it's a direct like. Oh, I bet I'm not gonna rate this as high. I'm not gonna like this as much as, you know what I mean? But it is a great show for just like, I can be invested, but I don't have to be. But that's why I found even before you could be invested, but you didn't have to be. So for the start of the show when there was more action and stuff. Yeah, it was the same vibe. It was never so urgent and so dire because they had the humor and the cuteness and the funniness mixed in. Yeah. So I'm really hoping that we like still have a mix of both, but more towards that end in the next part. It's also a problem with it being like a longer running like manga series, and it's a problem with any manga. Well, a problem is a strong way of phrasing it. It's just the nature of writing a long running series of any kind. It's like you set up the premise and then you run the premise as long as it can. And here's the thing with the dog is like what they're gonna do with the dog, for what I assume is like
they have a choice. They need to move forward in some way. They need to move the story forward in some way, but they haven't finished what they want to do with Damien. They haven't finished what they want to do with Yuri. They don't want to like well, the main thing is they don't want to jeopardize the status quo of like the dynamic and the setup that they have right now, because if they move things around too much, what's going to happen is they have to alter the story in a big way, and that it could turn into something that people don't want to read as much. So they're really comfortable. They got a really good thing going right now. They don't want to shake things up too much, but they need to do something in order to keep people interested. So rather than like jeopardize the relationship by exposing the power or the secret lifestyle of one of these three people, why don't we add something else to it to then spice it up? It's very similar to how Miko Ino was added to Kaguya. It's like, we have a really strong cast and really cool dynamic, this three-way thing here. It's interesting, it's cool, it's funny, but we can't do this forever, so we need to add something to it, because we can't take something away or change it too drastically too fast. So that seems like what they're going to do with the dog, if the dog is even relevant to the main story, which I can't imagine why it wouldn't be. But they also need to give time to explore more stuff with Damien and get us more attached to him or interact with him more and all the other kids and everything. Because if they weren't doing that, if they were more committed to this is the dynamic, this is the setup punchline type thing, they want to like set up and then stay at the tail end of that setup and then hit the punchline later, and then so the dynamic gets to like be teased or whatever and joked about, but they don't have to do anything with it until the time comes where it's like, are we still going to be a family after this? And that's like the series finale or something. So that seems to me why they're adding the dog, and because they want to they just want to stretch it out a little bit more because it's fun and everybody's having fun with it, so fuck it. I don't know, but I just, I can't help but see that as like stalling a little bit. We'll just have to see until we'll have to see when the fall season comes out if I still feel that way. But
thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being along this journey with us. It was very nice. I don't know if I guess I can say that we're going to be watching Devil's a Part-Timer week to week next season. That's going to be our next seasonal. So if you're really big into seasonals, you like our videos, please stay subscribed for that and check those videos out, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Have a good day. Bye-bye.